Today we are going to use the elastic gathering attachment on the Serger. This attachment is amazing because it evenly stretches your elastic when you're sewing it to swimwear or lingerie or whatever the heck it is you're making. So let's go over exactly how to attach it to your Serger and let's give it a try. So if you've ever sewn elastic to something and you know you have to stop, stretch it, sew a little, stop, stretch it, sew a little, and your consistency is never perfect. But with this foot, it makes the consistency perfect all the way around the project that you're creating. I know this attachment looks really funky, but I promise it's super easy to use. So it attaches to the machine with this little part right here, which we're gonna go over. And then you put the elastic under this white piece. So we open up that little metal piece, and then we flip open this white piece. And then you're going to take your elastic and you're going to put it right in the middle. So that way when it comes down, it's right in the middle here of this opening. And then go ahead and close it back up. Whoop, I just pulled it out. So we have no tension on it right now. That's why I was able to just pull it out like that. So if you take this knob here and you twist it to the right, it's going to create some tension on your elastic. So that way it stretches it while you're sewing it. That might feel a little confusing, but you're about to see it in action and that's gonna clear everything up. Today, I'm going to be putting this attachment onto the Husqvarna Viking Amber Air S400. Yours could attach a little bit differently if you have a different serger. So follow along and check it out and see if you want one of these awesome attachments. The first thing you need to do is open up the side of your serger. You might not have even known that it does that. Pretty crazy, right? Look at all of these different mechanisms in here that make this serger happen. So what we need to do is find the screw that is right in front down here. And it's gonna have a little cutout here in the plastic, so that way you can get your screwdriver in here. Now you wanna loosen this screw, so that way we can get the little hook of the foot around it. So now what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna remove my elastic out of here first, is we're going to take this foot and we are going to put that little like fork right around the screw there. And then you're going to tighten up the screw. There we go, just like that, super easy. And now this is in place. Now we can go ahead and shut the side of the machine. Make sure you don't catch your serger thread in there. There we go. Now the attachment is on, and that was what? So easy, took like 2 seconds, no big deal at all. Now what we're gonna do is open up that white piece, and we're gonna take our elastic, and we are going to place it right under it in the middle, put it down, fasten it back up. And now this little white knob here, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, which means when you turn it to the right, it's gonna stretch the elastic more, and when you turn it to the left, it's gonna stretch the elastic less. Now you don't need to change the settings on the serger, you don't need to change your foot on the serger, you don't really need to change anything on it, you just need to set up this foot. So we've got the foot on, we've got some elastic in it, we are going to put some sample fabric in it here and give it a try. I also want to mention that you want to make sure you're stitching on your elastic when you start this. So your elastic that's in here, make sure it's not caught under the knife or anything. Make sure it's right under where your needles are going to be. Okay, we're going to put down our foot and we're going to go. Okay, so now we're gonna step on the pedal and make sure you're catching your elastic. So it is stretching this elastic while I'm serging. I just need to keep it lined up. And you can see back here, it's gathering up the fabric for the amount that I have it stretched here. So I'm not stretching it back here. I'm just holding it out of habit. If you want, you can move the position of your elastic. Let's move it over to the right a little bit. So we'll unclick, move it over to the right. When I get to the end, I'm going to cut. So you can see how fast that went onto the fabric and it consistently gathered up the fabric. Now we've got the elastic sewn on at the edge here. It's super stretchy and it's consistent. So you could always flip this back, zigzag it down if you were doing lingerie or a bathing suit. This could be like a waistband for a skirt. There are just so many different applications for applying elastic with the serger when you want that consistent stretch. Now you might be thinking, I don't want my fabric gathered, but I want my elastic stretched just a little bit for my swimwear or my lingerie. Well, no problem at all. That just means your knob needs to go to the left a little bit, so that way it's not super stretching your elastic. So you can completely control this, and as you know, different elastics stretch differently, so you're definitely gonna wanna test out a little piece on your fabric and the elastic you're using for your project, so that way you know exactly where to keep that little knob for your project. And another note, you can totally use different widths of elastic, different types of fabric. Doesn't have to be a knit fabric, it could totally be a woven fabric. You can use different types of elastics. You could do a picot, you could do a woven. So this foot is not limiting you to just one elastic or one fabric. It just really depends on what you're creating. So if you're sewing a lot of fabrics with elastic inserted in them around the edges, I highly suggest checking out this foot for your serger. It's gonna make your projects look that much more beautiful. Thanks so much for watching Sew Anastasia today on how to use the elastic gathering foot on your serger. If you have any questions about it, leave it down below and I will get back with you as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, give it some applause, and leave a comment. Do you have a serger? And do you have this foot, or are you inspired to go out and get this foot now? How cool is it? Leave it down below. And if you're not already a subscriber to Sew Anastasia, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when the new videos come out. And if you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for watching today. And don't forget to subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and all those other social media websites. That way we can stay connected and creative together. And I would love to see what projects you've been working on, so make sure you tag me in them so that way I can share them with everyone else. And if you've tried out one of my videos, definitely tag me in it so I can share it with everyone, because I know they would love to see your projects too. And don't forget, I now teach sewing classes in my design studio, so check those out at sewanastasia.com, and you can also take those virtually as well. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.